The graphics object has methods for drawing and filling a rectangle with rounded corners. You draw it the same way as you draw a normal rectangle, except you add instructions to tell it how much to round off the corners. This program draws 3 rounded rectangles. The first 4 values you specify are the same as the ones you would specify to draw a regular rectangle. This rectangle has its upper left-hand corner 20 pixels from the side and from the top. It's square because the height and width are both at 160 pixels. These 2 extra values at the end specify the amount of roundedness that is to be applied to each corner. The first number specifies that a curve on the horizontal line should start 10 pixels back from the corner, and the second one specifies that a curve should start 10 pixels above or below each corner. This example draws 3 rounded rectangle shapes. Here's what it looks like. Each corner appears as a quarter of a circle. The circles on the corners of all 3 of these examples have radiuses of 10 pixels. Other than the rounded corners, the setup to draw a rounded rectangle is just like a regular rectangle. You can use different curvature for vertical and horizontal components, and you can fill the entire region with color. You might notice something different here in the import statements. Instead of listing each AWT class separately, I just used an asterisk. That way I can refer to class names such as color and canvas, and the compiler will look in the AWT package to find them. Also notice that the window event class still has to be imported specifically. The asterisk does not instruct the compiler to search through the sub-packages. By the way, the letters AWT stand for Abstract Windowing Toolkit. It's the collection of classes that do windowing and graphics in such a way they're system independent. That is, if you do some AWT graphics on Windows, your program will run and do exactly the same thing on a Macintosh or any other system that runs Java. The F-rounded class sets the background to light gray, then paints a blue rounded rectangle into it. This rectangle is square, just like in the previous example, but it doesn't have parts of circles in the corners. It has parts of ellipses. Let me run the program and show you what this looks like. Notice that the curvature in the horizontal direction begins 30 pixels from the corner, while the curvature in the vertical direction begins 50 pixels from the corner. The slight curvature in the corner gives you a shape that comes in handy for making quick graphic designs. Remember, I don't have any taste, but I will try to show you what I mean. Here again, the asterisk is used on the import statement and means that we can use names of classes such as font and font metrics without any further qualifications. This works okay as long as you don't happen to name one of your classes the same name as something else in the AWT package. Then you have a naming conflict and the results are sometimes entirely unexpected. Because of this, some people consider the asterisk to be bad programming practice, but that's for you to decide. I use the asterisk, but not that often, because I rather like the idea of having all the classes I use listed at the top of the program. This program draws a signpost and writes a word on it. The post is drawn in black, and we draw it first so we can put other stuff on top of it. The sign is a rounded rectangle filled in yellow. A large, bold font is selected for the text. We get a font metrics object so we can measure the text and try to place it in the center of the rounded rectangle. Once the position of the text is determined, the string is then drawn in the middle of the rounded rect. Well, the vertical centering of the text is off just a bit. It was assumed that since the chosen text had no descenders, the text ascent value was the only thing that was needed to be considered as the height. But as you can see, that didn't quite get it dead center. As usual, the exact positioning of text depends a lot on the font, so you usually have to fiddle with it just a bit.